ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। हर नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव शम्भो शङ्कर। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्ता गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। Even though the person is having Shamadi gunas, but Mumukshutva and Vairagya, these two are not strong enough. If he doesn't have dispassion or detachment and strong desire, burning desire to get liberation, without these two, person cannot succeed to attain liberation. Yesterday we have discussed these 2 points in sloka number 29 and 30. वैराग्यं च मुमुक्षुत्वं तीव्रं यस्य तु विद्यते तस्मिन्नेवार्थवन्तः स्युः फलवन्तः शमादयः. One who is having vairagya and mumukshutva, in him only shamadi gunas will be fruitful. They will give result. एतयोर्मन्दता यत्र विरक्तत्वमुमुक्षयोः मरौ सलिलवत्तत्र क्षेमादेर्भानमात्रता. In whom this virakti and mumukshutva, they are manda, they are dull, then Shamadi gunas are just appearance only, they will not give complete result. Here, Drishtanta example has been given. It is like Marau Salila Vat. Vat means like Marau Salila Vat, water in the desert place. It's like mirror's water. It's just appearing, but it will not satiate the thirst. So we cannot drink that water. In the same way, here virakti and mumukshutva, if they are not there, then shamadi gunas also are not going to be give complete result. So that seeker of truth, he should develop dispassion and he should have strong desire to get liberation. When? Now, here itself, that tivra mumukshutva should be there. In the next sloka, the wonderful definition of devotion has been given by Adi Shankaracharya ji. It's quite rare kind of definition of devotion in terms of self-knowledge, self-inquiry. मोक्षकारणसामग्र्या भक्तिरेव गरीयसी भक्तिरेव गरीयसी स्वस्वरूपानुसन्धानं भक्तिरित्यभिधीयते भक्तिरित्यभिधीयते मोक्षकारण सामग्र्यां moksha means liberation. Moksha karana means cause. Samagryam, seventh case, among the instruments. Samagri means objects. Generally we use this term na, samagri. To do any work we require samagri. Objects, things or instruments are required to complete that work. So here, to attain moksha, whatever sadhanas, practices, instruments have been enumerated till now, among all of them, samagryam, bhakti reva, bhaktihi plus eva, bhaktihi, devotion, the continuous thought flow of love towards higher altar, bhaktihi, eva, alone, it's only, this one only, gariyasi, laghu means little, small, gariyasi means it's very high, it is shrestha, gariyasi means the most important, that is the thing. Among all instruments and conditions necessary to get liberation, among all of them, devotion is the most and important thing. So by devotion, we can attain moksha. Someone may have doubt, is it possible? Because earlier when we have discussed by performing actions, we cannot attain moksha. By karma, we cannot attain moksha. Karma is meant for, karma yoga is meant for chitta shuddhi. Chittasya suddhaye karma, natu vastupalabdhaye. We have seen that thought. Now, bhakti also is one kind of subtle action only. Some people may think like that. No, not like that. Here, bhakti has been defined in different way from highest standpoint. We will discuss about it. In the next line, what is that bhakti? Swaswarupānusandhānam. They said, Swaswarupa Anusandhanam is called bhakti. Swaswarupa Anusandhanam means the continuous and constant attempt to live up to one's own self. Swaswarupa means one's own self. Here self means supreme self. Anusandhana means the continuous attempt to abide in the self. Anusandhana means one meaning is connection, but here Anusandhana means that contemplation, meditation. Swaswarupa Anusandhanam. Bhaktihi, devotion, iti, thus, in this way, abhidhiyate. Abhidhiyate means is called, is said, or abhidhiyate means is designated also. So what is devotion? Swaswarupa Anusandhanam is called devotion. Now we have seen general meaning, means this word meaning. Now we will go deep into the thought behind this verse, this sloka. Few people may think bhakti means generally most of the people, they will be having the thought devotion means Bhagwan is there and devotee will be there, and a devotee will be having relationship with Bhagwan, and a devotee will be offering dravyas to Bhagwan. He will be continuously thinking of Bhagwan. He will be chanting Bhagwan's name. So this is called devotion. Yes, this is devotion. But what is the highest kind of devotion? Here Swaswarupa Anusandhana is called devotion. For anything, for any object, three things will be there in that. One is name, another one is form, another one is nature, essence. Nama, Rupa, Swarupa. So in Upasana, what will happen in devotion? The devotee will be having all the time remembrance of Bhagwan's name, and seeing that Bhagwan's Murti, Rupa, he will try to establish that Rupa in his heart. All the time he will be having thought of Bhagwan's name and form. That identification will be there. Love towards Bhagwan. This is called Upasana, devotion only. Here Swaswarupa Anusandhana means the devotee is already, he's having the thought of devotion, and he knows that Bhagwan's Swarupa is nothing but his own Swarup, his own true nature. That's why he is trying to abide in his own self. That is Bhagavad Swarupa. I hope you are able to understand to some extent at least. See, moksha sadhana samagriyam bhaktireva gariyasi. Why here it is said? What are the means to get liberation? From the beginning onwards, we are saying that seeker, he should have all these qualifications, general qualifications and specific qualifications. All those things we have discussed. He should have that Medha Shakti, Medhavi, Vidwan, Uha, Poha, Vichikshanaha. And afterwards we have seen Sadhana Chatustayam also, Viveka, Vairagya, Shema, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha, Sraddha, Samadhanam, Shemadi Shetka Sampatti, and Mumukshutvam. So having all these qualities, when he approached that Guru Mahatma, when he is receiving that self-knowledge, so he will be connecting with the thoughts given in the scriptures. He is having Sampurna Sraddha, because we have seen in Shemadi Shetka Sampatti, having thought of faith in the scriptures and the sentences, statements given by Guru Mahatmas. So that Sravana he has done, and he did Vicharana, and he removed all kinds of what you call doubts also. So that clarity is there in him now. So now he is meditating upon his own self. In other terms, we can call it as Nididhyasanam. So directly his attempt is now not here and there. He is not focusing on name of Bhagwan. He is not focusing upon the form of Bhagwan. Directly he is focusing on the true nature of Bhagavad Swarupa, that which is nothing but his own Swarupa. So this is called Swaswarupa Anusandhanam, and whatever we have enumerated till now, all those kind of samagri to get liberation, all those things are good, they are required. But bhakti eva gariyasi, why here it is said, without devotion, without continuous thought flow of love, that person, seeker, cannot realize his own self. Devotion means just not doing puja, or not just doing parayana, offering few things, Dupadipa Naivedya to Bhagwan. Not only that one. In the beginning stages, all those things are required to connect with higher altar. But ultimately, that devotee, he should realize his own self, that is Bhagavad Swarupa. So many means are there to realize the self, but this devotion is gariyasi. Gariyasi, the most important, the highest kind of thing. Even in our day-to-day life also, if we want to get anything, we should have the thought of love towards that, to get it, to achieve that. One person wants to get promotion in the company where he is working. What he has to do for that? Continuously, he should have thought about his job, whatever work is going on. When he focuses there, when he will be working there sincerely with dedication, then definitely he will get promotion. So whenever we want to achieve anything, the continuous thought flow should be there towards that. Love is measured by remembrance. Love is measured by identification. What will happen in ignorant state? Our mind will be generally having attachment with worldly kind of things. So many times, even though we may be saying to the mind, don't think of that one, mind will be thinking of that object or person. Continuous remembrance. But here in devotion, it is said, the continuous thought flow, sajatiya vritti pravaha. In technical terms, sajatiya vritti pravaha. Sajatiya means only one single. Vritti means thought. Pravaha means flow. The thought flow of only one and only one object of meditation, of contemplation. So here that goal is self. So Swaswarupa Anusandhana is called devotion. And one more thing, earlier once we just touched this point, whatever we will be thinking of, that will take the form, means the mind will take that form. Here Swaswarupa means there is no name, there is no form, there is no rupa. Beyond these names and forms, whatever is their existence, that is Swaswarupa. So bhakti is that the continuous and constant attempt to meditate upon self. Attempt to live up to one's own self. This is highest kind of devotion. Directly that seeker can get liberation by this means of devotion. In the next sloka, same thought only, but in 32nd sloka, few other people will be saying bhakti means not directly meditating upon that self, but connecting Jivatma with Paramatma and further doing the contemplating upon that, doing that contemplation is called devotion. Slight difference is there. We will see first 32nd sloka, then we will discuss this point. In the 31 sloka, it is said, devotion means Swaswarupa Anusandhanam. Even though so many kinds of means are available to get liberation, but this bhakti, this kind of bhakti is supreme. Gariyasi means supreme, srestha, the most important. This word is very suitable, supreme, highest, Gariyasi. Now we will see sloka number 32. स्वात्मतत्त्वानुसन्धानं भक्तिरित्यपरे जिगुः. स्वात्मतत्त्वानुसन्धानं bhaktirityapare jeguhu. One more thought is connected here only in this sloka. Guru Pasatti also. What that seeker has to do. How he has to approach Guru to get liberation. Ukta sadhana sampannaha. Ukta sadhana sampannaha. Tattva jijñāsuratmanaha. Tattva jijñāsuratmanaha. Upasidhet gurum prajñam. Upasidhet gurum prajñam. Yasmad bandha vimokshanam. Yasmad bandha vimokshanam. First we will see this one line. Swatma tattvanusandhanam bhaktirityapare jeguhu. Swa Atma means one's own self. Swatma Tattva. Tattvam. Tattvam means that. That means one meaning is supreme reality, Tattva. Another meaning is Tat means Ishvara also. Here Swatma means one meaning is self. Here Swatma means inner meaning. If we take Jivatma, Swa Atma, one's own Atma. Anusandhanam. Anusandhanam means one meaning is connection, connecting. Anusandhanam means constant contemplation. Bhaktihi iti, this is called bhakti. Apare. Apare means some other people. What Shankaracharya has given the definition of bhakti, we have seen in the earlier sloka 31. Now here, apare, few other people, what they are saying about bhakti is jeguhu. Jeguhu means they are expounding, they are saying, declaring. Jeguhu declared. Other people, they declared devotion means Swatma Tattva Anusandhanam. Swatma Tattva Anusandhanam, the constant inquiry into the real nature of one's own self. This is called Swatma Tattva Anusandhanam. Now, what is the difference between earlier one and this kind of devotion is, in earlier one, that devotee, that seeker of truth, he is having great qualities, whatever required to get self-realization, and he did Sravana and Manana also, and final attempt, Nididhyasana doing, and directly connecting with that self. Not connecting, in fact, directly meditating upon that self. In this sloka, Swatma Tattva Anusandhana means connecting Jivatma with Paramatma. Here, he did not completely receive the self-knowledge. Still that effort is there. This is also one kind of upasana only. Earlier one is not upasana. He knows what is that real nature of Bhagavad Swarupa. That's why directly meditating upon that Swarupa as his own Swarupa. So in this sloka, that upasana thought is there. Upasana thought, connecting the Jivatma with Paramatma. That attempt is there, that inquiry is there of the true nature. Swatma Tattva Anusandhanam Bhaktihi iti apare jeguhu. In other terms, it is said Ahangrahopasana. Aham means I. Here Swatma means I. The entire thing is connected to this I. What is this I? Who is this I? What is its true nature? Doing that inquiry. So that Manana is not yet completed. And the devotee is having thought, Ishvara is there, I have to become one with that Bhagavad Swarupa. This kind of upasana, it is very highest kind of upasana only, comparing with other kinds of upasana. other kinds of upasana, the devotee will be connecting with Bhagavan's name and form. Shiva upasana, Vishnu upasana, Devi upasana. All these kind of upasanas are good. So here Ahangraha upasana is, we can call it as, comparing with other upasanas, it is Shrestha. But in this one also, that Jiva still he is having that Jiva Bhava and he is trying to get his supreme state. Because of this kind of upasana, sometimes what will happen, that Jiva will go to Brahmaloka, then he will get Kramamukti also. In earlier one, Swaswarupa Anusandhana means directly is meditating upon the self. I hope you are getting this point. In the second one, what we are discussed, in this one, the difference is there. In earlier one, no difference. Directly trying to get that Atma Swarupa. Even not trying to get, it's meditating upon that self. Only one thought, continuously only one thought. What is that thought? Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Brahman. I am that Brahman. Brahma Swarupa. This is highest kind of devotion. 31st sloka. 32nd sloka, in this one line we have seen, this is one kind of contemplation only. It's not completely nididhyasana. Still, he is having that difference, the thought of difference, separation from Bhagavad Swarupa. Then next line, Ukta sadhana sampannaha. Ukta means that which is said. Ukta sadhana. Ukta sadhana sampannaha. Sadhana means in what you call instrument, one meaning. Another meaning sadhana is prayatna, effort, endeavor. Ukta sadhana sampannaha. Sampannaha, one who is endowed with all these qualifications till now whatever said. Jijñāsuku atmanaha, one who is having, jijñāsa means jñātum ichcha. Note this one. Jijñāsa means jñātum ichcha, desire to know. What? Atmanaha, one who is having desire to know the self-knowledge. Upasidet gurum prajñam, what he has to do? Ukta sadhana sampannaha, he is having already all qualities, qualifications, whatever said, that sadhaka is endowed with all great qualities. Then he has to do one thing, he has to approach guru, preceptor. Upasidet, upasidet means approach. Whom? Gurum, preceptor. Prajñam, one who is knowledgeable. Prajñam, learned. The learned preceptor. Yasmat bandha vimokshanam. Yasmat, by which? Because of what? Yasmat bandha vimokshanam, release from all kinds of bondages. To get rid of from all kinds of bondages, one who is having desire to know the self-knowledge and one who already endowed with all great qualities already said, such kind of seeker, he has to approach learned guru, learned preceptor. Then what he has to do? He has to study, he has to receive the knowledge. Before that, who is that Guru Mahatma? The glory of Guru expounded very beautifully in the next sloka. We will see this sloka today. Srotriyo vrujino kamahato. Srotriyo avrujino. But when we are continuously without breaking, when we are reading vrujino, but आवृजिनः श्रोत्रियो वृजिनो अकामहतो यो ब्रह्मवित्तमः यो ब्रह्मवित्तमः ब्रह्मण्युपरतः शान्तः ब्रह्मण्युपरतः शान्तः निरिन्धन इवानलः निरिन्धन इवानलः अहेतुकदया सिन्धुः अहेतुकदया सिन्धुः बन्धुरानमतां सताम् बन्धुरानमतां सताम् श्रोत्रियः, the great qualities of preceptor Guru has been expounded here. Number 1 is Shrotriyaha. Shrotriyaha means one who has done lot of Shravana of the scriptures from Guru Parampara. Means one who is well versed in the scriptures. He studied a lot the scriptures and he is having capacity to explain to others also. Shrotriyaha. Simple terms, one who is well versed in the Shastra, scriptures. He is called Shrotriyaha. Number 2. Avrujinaha. Vrujina means Malinya. Avrujinaha means Malinya Rahita. Vrujina means sin. Avrujinaha means one who is sinless. One who did not commit any mistake intentionally. Please understand this thought. What is just a mistake and what is sin? There is a difference between these two. Sometimes without our intention, without our involvement, we may hurt others, committing mistakes without intention. Intentionally, if that person is harming others or committing mistakes intentionally, that is called sin. Avrujinaha means one who is free from all kinds of sins. Because that Mahatma, that Guru, he will not harm anyone or anything intentionally. And one more thing, he is not at all having doership. That's why sin also will not be there for him. One who is having thought of doership, then he has to go through punya and papa. But this Mahatma, he is free from the thought of doership. So no punya, no papa. One child is there. He doesn't know anything. But something happened. He went to outside place and he has taken one knife. He's playing and he entered into that kitchen, that room, and he was holding that knife. He didn't know that is knife, and if he will do something, it is harmful like that. He didn't know anything. He took that knife and playing with that one. In that house, one small dog is there. So he went and put that knife into the leg of that dog. And laughing and smiling. Bechara, that dog though, with a lot of pain, could not tolerate. Then mother came, a father also came, and they saw, no, what that boy he was doing? Let's go on playing with that knife. For him, that is play. But bechara, that dog, unable to bear that pain. Is it sin or not? Is it sin? He is harming the dog, no? But instead of that boy, elderly person, one who knows what is knife, if he will take that knife and put in the leg of that dog, is it sin or not? That is sin or not. Why? Action is same, no? Action is same. In both conditions, that dog is getting that pain. It is hurted. But why we are saying earlier one it's not sin and next one done by elderly person it is sin? Because here that child he doesn't have doership in his mind and he did not aware of that he is harming something. Free from ego. In the next case, that elderly person, he knows what he is doing and he's having thought of ego and he's having thought of the doership. That's why if he will do such kind of action, that is called sin. Why this Guru Mahatma is called Avrujinaha, completely free from sins, because he doesn't have any doership. Some people may ask, in some stories you might have heard, some places you may come across this kind of thought, even though they are gurus, they may be giving trouble to others. Giving trouble to others means not intentionally, please understand again, not intentionally. If that prarabdha is there in other people's life, they may receive that kind of response from the Mahatmas. But Mahatmas intentionally, they will not harm anyone. Please understand. If they are giving any kind of punishment to others also, that is only for the sake of well-being, welfare of that other person. Sometimes, in olden days, these Guru Mahatmas, they used to give such kind of sikshana, that kind of, they expect such kind of discipline from disciples. They used to give punishments also, severe punishments sometimes. Even in one story I heard, because of that Guru Mahatma, he gave some job that boy, he has to go, that youngster, he has to go and take care of a few cows, etc. in the forest, and he fell in the ditch, and finally even he lost his eyes also. Why all these things? Directly that Mahatma, he can make him comfortably, he can stay at ashram and he can impart that knowledge. Now, why all these things, all these kind of tests? Why he has to give such kind of punishment? Is it sin? No. Thought behind the action, if that is pure, even though action may be appearing harsh, but it is not called sin. So Guru Mahatmas are Srotriyas. They study the scriptures. They know what are the do's and what are the don'ts. Srotriyaha, Avrujinaha, free from sins, means pure-hearted. Akamahataha, next one. Akamahataha, one who is free from desires, worldly kind of desires. In sadhana level, what will happen? If those desires are arising, that sadhaka will be analyzing those desires and he will try to remove those desires. Means that effort will be there from sadhak's level, our standpoint, our level. So Guru Mahatmas, they have done lot of sadhana. They are in advanced stage, we can say, Guru Mahatmas, and even if we want to say, it's already they have gone beyond all these kind of things. So they are free from desires. Desire will arise only when that person feels incompleteness in him. Please understand this thought. When desire will arise? To get happiness only. When person wants to get happiness, when he is not satisfied what he is having, and when person feels incomplete, one kind of incompleteness will be there, emptiness will be there in him. That's why he is jumping into the world to get that happiness by fulfilling his various kinds of desires. In that process, what will happen, because of so many kinds of vasanas and tamasic and rajasic also, he will be doing so many kinds of negative kinds of activities also to fulfill those desires, because all those things are not channelized. That's why in our scriptures it is said, when our Vedas also is given, if person is having desires, how he has to fulfill that process also is given, and the ways and means also said in the Vedas. If you are having this desire, you can do this kind of yajna. You can follow this kind of way to fulfill your desire in dharmic way. So here Guru Mahatma is akamahataha, free from desires. Desires means here worldly kind of desires, just to fulfill what you call to give happiness to his senses. So he will not be having such kind of thought. Tamasic and rajasic kinds of desires will not be there in him. Next one. Yo. Yo means yaha. Who? Brahma Vittamaha. Nice word. In our earlier thought, akamahataha, one more thought behind that is, when ignorance is there, then desires will be there. When ignorance is removed, desires also will not be there. But someone may ask, but Mahatmas, they will be doing so many activities in this world and they may be having requirement of so many things. But there we have to understand, is it a requirement or a desire of their own? Is it selfish desire or is it meant for the welfare of the society? We have to understand, because so many great Mahatmas, they established so many institutions and organizations to serve the society. So behind all these things, even though it is appearing they are having desire, but it's not a desire, it's a sankalpa only. Not selfish kind of desire, only to help others, to impart this knowledge to others. That is the thought. And in this word, Brahma Vittamaha means, Vitt means to know. Brahma Vitt means the knower of Brahman. Brahma Vittamaha. Brahma Vittamaha, one who is have firm establishment in the self. Sustira Bhava. Brahma Vittamaha, the full knower of the Supreme Self. Brahmani Uparataha, one more word, so nice. Brahmani means in the Brahman. Uparataha, Uparataha, abiding. The abidance of Brahma Tattva. One who is abiding in the self, Supreme Self. Shantaha nirindana ivanalaha hetukadaya sindhuhu bandhuhu anamatam satam. All these words tomorrow we will see. Anamatam, not anamatam. Bandhurana is there, na? Bandhuhu anamatam satam. Beautiful words, Shantaha, etc. Tomorrow we will discuss more of it. Whatever we are discussing, these great qualities, glories of Guru Mahatma, all these are for sadhakas to be attained. We have to do practice. We have to develop these qualities. When we know that self, all these qualities will become natural to us. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate పూర్ణస్య పూర్ణమాదాయ పూర్ణమేవావశిష్యతే. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. హరి ఓం. శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. హరి ఓం. ఈరోజు భక్తి అంటే ఏంటి, ఆధ్యాత్మిక సాధనలో భక్తికి ఉన్నటువంటి స్థానం ఏంటి, ఆధ్యాత్మిక సాధకుడు బ్రహ్మజ్ఞానాన్ని పొందటానికి గురువు గారిని ఏ విధంగా సమీపించాలి, గురువు గారికి ఉన్నటువంటి ఉన్నతమైన లక్షణాలు ఏంటి అన్నటువంటి అంశాల గురించి చెప్పుకున్నాము. భక్తి అంటే స్వస్వరూప అనుసంధానం అని ఆదిశంకరాచార్యుల వారు, పూజ్యాది శంకరాచార్యుల వారు చెప్తున్నారు. ఆధ్యాత్మిక సాధనలన్నింటిలోనికి భక్తి ఏవ గరీయసి అని చెప్పున్నారు. మోక్ష కారణ సామగ్ర్య, ముక్తి పొందాలి అని అనుకున్నటువంటి వారికి సహకరించేటువంటి సాధనలన్నింటిలోనికి కూడా భక్తి ఉత్తమమైంది అన్నటువంటిది చెప్పున్నారు. భక్తి అంటే ఏంటి అంటే స్వస్వరూప అనుసంధానం. తెలుగులో సులభంగానే అర్థం చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఇది తన స్వరూప స్థితిని పొందటమే భక్తి అని చెప్పున్నారు. భక్తిలో ఉన్నటువంటి ముఖ్యమైన అంశాలు ఏంటి అంటే భక్తిలో ప్రేమ ఉంటుంది. ప్రేమ మాత్రమే కాదు, ప్రేమతో పాటు ఇది ఉన్నతమైంది, శ్రేష్టమైంది అన్నటువంటి గౌరవ భావం కూడా ఉంటుంది. లవ్, రెస్పెక్ట్ మీన్స్ రెవరెన్స్ ఆల్సో ఇదే. భక్తి భావంలో నిరంతరము ఆలోచన ప్రవాహము, మనము దేన్ని అయితే లక్ష్యంగా పెట్టుకొని ఉన్నామో దాని వైపే నిరంతర ఆలోచన ప్రవాహం అన్నటువంటిది ఉంటుంది. సజాతీయ వృత్తి ప్రవాహం, ఇంకా అన్యమైనటువంటి ఆలోచన ఉండదు. ఇక్కడ స్వస్వరూప అనుసంధానం భక్తి అని అన్నప్పుడు సామాన్య స్థాయిలో భక్తి అనుకున్నప్పుడు పూజ చేయడం, జపం చేయడం, పారాయణ చేయడం, ద్రవ్యాలు సమర్పించడం భగవంతునికి, భగవంతుని నామాన్ని ఎప్పుడు కీర్తిస్తూ ఉండడం, ఇవి భక్తి అనేసి చెప్పడం జరుగుతుంది. అయితే ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసి స్వస్వరూప అనుసంధానం అన్నప్పుడు భగవంతుని నామముతో మాత్రమే కాకుండా, భగవంతుని రూపముతో మాత్రమే కాకుండా ఆయన యొక్క స్వరూపముతో అనుసంధానం చెందటం. ఎందుకంటే నామము రూపము పరిమితిని కలిగి ఉంటాయి. రాముల వారైనా కృష్ణుల వారైనా అవతార రూపంలో వచ్చినప్పుడు కొంతకాలం భూమి మీద ఉన్నారు, మళ్ళీ అవతారం అయిపోయిన వెంటనే వెళ్ళిపోయి ఉన్నారు. అంటే అదే నామము అదే రూపము అలాగే కొనసాగుతూ ఉండదు. కానీ తత్వరూపేణ స్వరూపేణ ఎప్పటికీ నిలిచి ఉంటారు. సో ఇక్కడ ఆధ్యాత్మిక సాధకుడు ఆ భగవత్ స్వరూపము తన స్వరూపము అని తెలుసుకొని ఆ స్వస్వరూప స్థితిని పొందటానికి నిరంతరము ప్రయత్నిస్తూ ఉండటమే భక్తి సాధన అని చెప్తున్నారు. ఇది అన్నింటికంటే ఉత్తమమైంది అని చెప్తారు. దీని తర్వాత ఇంకొంతమంది ఏం చెప్పున్నారంటే భక్తి అంటే జీవాత్మని పరమాత్మలో ఐక్యం చేయడానికి చేసేటువంటి ప్రయత్నం అని చెప్పున్నారు. మొదటి దానికి దీనికి తేడా ఏంటి అంటే, ఇంతకు ముందు శంకరాచార్యుల వారు చెప్పినటువంటి నిర్వచనంలో వచ్చేసి ఆ సాధకుడు ఇంతకు ముందు సాధకుడికి ఉండవలసిన లక్షణాలన్నింటినీ కలిగి ఉండి శ్రవణ మననాదులు కూడా చేసి చివరిలో నిధిధ్యాసన స్థితిలో ఉన్నటువంటి దాంతో సమానం అని చెప్పచ్చు. ఇది అభేద భక్తి అన్నమాట. కానీ ఇంకొంతమంది ఏం చెప్పున్నారంటే భేద భక్తి ఇంకా ఉపాసన అన్నటువంటిది ఉన్నట్లుగా అహంగ్రహోపాసన, అహం నేను ఆ బ్రహ్మస్వరూపాన్ని అయి ఉన్నాను అన్నటువంటి ఆలోచనని నిరంతరం నిలుపుకోవడానికి చేసే ప్రయత్నం. ముందు దాంట్లో డైరెక్ట్ గా తత్వాన్ని గురించి విని ఆ అటెంప్ట్ అన్నటువంటి ప్రయత్నం అన్నటువంటి చేయడము. ఇందులో వచ్చేసి ఆ జీవుడు నేను భగవంతుని కంటే వేరుగా ఉన్నాను, ఆయనలో నేను కలిసిపోవాలి అని నిరంతరము చేసేటువంటి ప్రయత్నం, ఇది ఉపాసన అన్నమాట. దీనివల్ల చాలా మంది బ్రహ్మలోకానికి వెళ్ళడం, క్రమముక్తి పొందడం కూడా జరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది. దీని తర్వాత వచ్చేసి ఇంతవరకు ఉక్త లక్షణం, ఇంతవరకు చెప్పినటువంటి లక్షణాలన్నీ కూడా సాధకుడు కలిగి ఉన్నట్లయితే సామాన్య లక్షణాలు, ప్రత్యేక లక్షణాలు, వివేక, వైరాగ్య ఇత్యాది ఇవన్నీ కలిగి ఉన్నటువంటి వ్యక్తి తత్వ జిజ్ఞాస ఆత్మన అన్నప్పుడు తత్వాన్ని తెలుసుకోవాలి, ఆత్మతత్వాన్ని తెలుసుకోవాలి అనేటువంటి కోరిక కలిగి ఉన్నటువంటి వారు ప్రాజ్ఞం గురుం, ప్రాజ్ఞుడై ఉన్నటువంటి గురువు గారిని సమీపించాలి అని చెప్తున్నారు. దేనివల్ల అయితే బంధనాలన్నీ కూడా తొలగింపబడతాయో అటువంటి ఆత్మస్వరూప తత్వాన్ని తెలియజెప్పేటువంటి విద్యని పొందడం కోసం గురువు గారి దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళాలి అని చెప్తున్నారు. మరి ఆ గురువు గారు ఎటువంటి వారు, ఎంత ఉన్నతమైన స్థితిలో ఉన్నటువంటి వారు, ఆయన యొక్క గొప్పతనం మహాత్మ్యం ఏంటి, గురువు గారి లక్షణాలు, ఉత్తమ లక్షణాలు ఏంటి, మనం ప్రారంభంలో చెప్పుకొని ఉన్నాం. ఈ వివేక్ చూడమని చెప్పే ప్రారంభంలో ఇందులో వచ్చేసి శిష్య లక్షణాలు, గురు లక్షణాలు, గురువు గారిని ఎలా సమీపించాలి, తర్వాత తత్పదము, త్వంపదము, వాటి విచారణ, ఈ అంశాలన్నీ చెప్పుకొని ఉన్నాం కదా శాస్త్ర లక్షణాలు అనేసి. సో ఇంతవరకు మనము శిష్యుని యొక్క లక్షణాలను గురించి చెప్పుకుంటూ వచ్చాం. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ గురు లక్షణాలను గురించి ఇచ్చున్నారనమాట. గురువు గారు శ్రోత్రియుడై ఉండాలి, అంటే శాస్త్ర అధ్యయనము చేసిన వారై గురు పరంపర నుంచి శాస్త్రాలని శ్రవణం చేసి ఉన్నటువంటి వారై ఉండాలి. శాస్త్ర విషయాలని విశ్లేషణ చేసి అవతలి వారికి అంటే శిష్యులకి అర్థమయ్యే విధంగా బోధించేటువంటి శక్తిని కలిగి ఉన్నటువంటి వారై ఉండాలి శ్రోత్రియుడు. ఆ వృజినః, ఏ విధమైనటువంటి పాపములు లేనటువంటి వారు. నేను చేస్తున్నాను అన్న అహంకార భావం ఉన్నప్పుడు, కర్తృత్వ భావం ఉన్నప్పుడే సుఖ దుఃఖాలు, పాపపుణ్యాలు అన్నటువంటివి అనుభవించడము జరుగుతుంది. వ్యక్తి కర్మ చేసేటప్పుడు ఆ కర్మ వెనకాల ఉన్న ఉద్దేశ్యము మంచిదై ఉన్నట్లయితే, కర్మలో కాఠిన్యం కనిపించినా కూడా అది పాపము కాదు. అలా కాకుండా కర్తృత్వ భావం కలిగి ఉండి ఉద్దేశపూర్వకంగా అవతలి వాళ్ళకి ఇబ్బంది కలిగించే విధంగా కర్మలు చేసినట్లయితే అవి పాపాలు అవుతాయి. సో ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసి అవృజినః అంటే ఎవరిలో అయితే ఏ విధమైనటువంటి పాపము, మాలిన్యము ఉండదు అటువంటి గురువు గారు. ఆకామహతః, ఎవరిలో అయితే కోరికలు లేకుండా ఉంటారు. అజ్ఞాన దశలో ఉన్నప్పుడు తనలో ఉన్నటువంటి లోటుని తొలగించుకోవడం కోసము, బాహ్య విషయాల నుండి ఆనందం పొందడం కోసము మనిషి అనేక కర్మలు చేస్తూ కోరికలు తీర్చుకోవడానికి ప్రయత్నం చేస్తూ ఉంటారు. కోరికకి మూల కారణం ఏంటి? దుఃఖానికి కారణం కోరిక, కోరికకి కారణం అజ్ఞానం. ఆత్మజ్ఞానం వల్ల అజ్ఞానాన్ని తొలగించుకొని ఉంటారు కాబట్టి కోరికల నుంచి విముక్తిని పొంది ఉన్నటువంటి వారు గురువుగారు. మరి వాళ్ళు బాహ్య ప్రపంచంలో అనేక కర్మలు చేస్తూ ఉన్నట్లు కనిపిస్తూ ఉంటారు కదా, అంటే అవన్నీ కూడా లోక కళ్యాణం కోసము చేసేటువంటి కర్మలు. స్వతహాగా వాళ్ళ వరకు ఏవి కూడా అవసరము లేదు. అకామహతః యః బ్రహ్మవిత్తమః, ఎవరైతే బ్రహ్మతత్వాన్ని తెలుసుకొని ఉన్నారు. బ్రహ్మని ఉపరతః, బ్రహ్మతత్వము యందు ఉపరతిని పొంది ఉన్నారు. బ్రహ్మతత్వము యందు సుస్థిరత్వాన్ని పొంది ఉన్నారు అటువంటి గురువు గారు. శాంతులై ఉన్నటువంటి వారు, ఏ కారణము లేకుండా అందరి పట్ల దయ కలిగి ఉండేటువంటి వారు, శిష్యులకి మంచి స్నేహితుడిగా ఉండేటువంటి వారు అయినటువంటి గురువు గారికి నమస్కారం. రేపటి రోజున ఈ గురు లక్షణాలను గురించి కొన్ని లక్షణాలు ఉన్నాయి, అవి చెప్పుకుందాము. దీని తర్వాత చాలా అద్భుతమైన శ్లోకాలు రాబోతూ ఉన్నాయి. చాలా అంటే చాలా చాలా అద్భుతమైన శ్లోకాలు. శిష్యుడు గురువు గారిని సమీపించడము, గురువు గారితో మొట్టమొదటిసారి శిష్యుడు సంభాషణ చేయడం అన్నమాట. ఆ గురు శిష్య సంబంధము ఏర్పాటయ్యేటువంటి సమయం అన్నమాట. చాలా అద్భుతంగా వర్ణించున్నారు ఆదిశంకరాచార్యుల వారు. రేపటి రోజున చెప్పుకుందాం. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. హరి ఓం. శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. హరి ఓం.